Hello, everyone, and welcome to my Ascension Messages. This is take 2 because yesterday I got cut off due to the fact that we've had massive storms here, huge, and I mean huge hailstones. I'm not even exaggerating with that. And we had the power out for 8 hours. So yesterday morning when I went to go live, it was still unstable. And I'm hoping that it's all good now. So this is a totally different day that I usually go live, but I have to get these messages out. There's just too many of them. So today we're going to be talking about what's actually happening, and they brought through all these messages through the storms. I think that the negative ions or something is just like, whoa! I'm just getting massive downloads of how we are moving into or merging our 3D world with our 5D world, and that's what's literally happening. What this actually means for you. So we're going to discuss that. I also, yesterday at 9 o'clock in the morning, I published or had a premiere of my new hidden codes to Snow White. So that's on my Codes to a New Reality channel. It's the other channel. And please go check it out. The algorithms didn't take it very fast, so please go check it out and like and subscribe or whatever you want to do. But it's profound messaging, taking us through the history following Snow White. So there's all these codes and fairy tales. Anyway, you have to go check that out. It's really cool. Okay, so let's get into this. Also, I'm an intuitive counselor and reader. If you want a one-on-one session with me, the link is down below. Okay. One of the first messages that they got, I'm going to repeat a little bit of what I said yesterday. It was only like a 10-minute live yesterday anyway, so I need to go through this step by step with what Spirit actually gave to me. Hey, Sky, good to see you in the chat bar. First of all, they said, your soul will push you until you match it. The higher frequency that your soul is, the more that you are being asked to push through. So you might go, well, I think I've done enough work, enough shadow work. Your logical brain's just exhausted from all the shadow work and the facing of itself and all of that sort of stuff. And you're like, ugh. And then all of a sudden another wave will come in and you're having a down moment, you're having a feeling moment, and you're like, oh my God, I have to feel into this now because this is a limitation that I've been holding on to as well. And it's just because you have asked before you were born to match your soul's frequency while you were here on earth, and your soul's frequency is pretty high rise. It's love going on a journey. And to match that means that you're actually in sync with everything else as well that is in your reality and your outer reality, your inner reality, and your outer reality is in love. So just be aware that if you're still, you're like, I swear I would have gone through enough, and you're still going through stuff. They're even saying to me that there will come a peak where it switches, where all of a sudden things that you weren't getting, like you weren't receiving anything, nothing was really working for you. And then all of a sudden it will switch into, oh my God, I'm actually in alignment. I'm getting what I really dreamed of and all that sort of stuff. That's when you have met the quota kind of thing of your journey's expectation to meet your soul's vibration. And that's when it all starts. Now the soul is saying what you deserve instead of you looking outside of yourself for somebody else to tell you what you deserve and that sort of thing. So that's all shifting up for us at the moment. I'm going to repeat a little bit of yesterday, so that's fine. Hey, Jeannie, good to see you. And Ava, I hope that this connection stays. Please let it stay. Let's all cross our fingers and toes. I think it will. I have a feeling it will. So we are moving into a new experience, one that goes beyond this physical material world. I'm reading this off my phone, by the way, because when I channel through all these messages through the storms, I'm just writing crazy. I just was going crazy writing all this information. So it's under my notes. In this world, our feelings, and in this new world that we're moving into, or this merging of the 3D world to the 5D world and beyond, in this world, our feelings will give us way more wisdom and information than that what you might read in a book. And this new experience, we will need to learn to navigate our emotions so that we can feel into everything, as feeling into everything gives us communication with everything. This is why the shadow work or looking at your fears is really important, because it's your fears that stop you from feeling more. Yeah, I did talk a little bit about that yesterday. So if you want to go have a look at that other little short message, that was part 1, cut off, go have a look at that. And then they was talking about glitches and amazing synchronicities is going to happen more. This is because our reality is, I'm just going to read it. Glitches and amazing synchronicities are going to happen more and more as reality bends to acknowledging your feminine side, which is creating these alignments to these synchronicities. Your feminine side is now waking up. You're actually acknowledging it. Oh my God, there's synchronicities happening outside of me. That is a natural reflection to your feminine side waking up. To convince your logical masculine mind parts, masculine parts of yourself to let go and let flow. As logic cannot be in charge of shifting your life story due to its rigidness, which is actually needed to ground reality into a progressive birth to death life story, this actual story that we just remember the past, and it's like boom, boom, boom. We know if we get in our car, we go to the shop, we can buy our food. We've got all these stories that are lined up for us, and we take action on those stories. That is the logical mind creating our reality. But when we bring in our feminine side, magic starts to happen. But your imagination can actually shift the story. And once you learn how to use this power to your advantage, that's when you are going to finally start to see, well, you'll start to see all these glitches and these anomalies, these weird things, these synchronicities coming in, because it's like, they said when these glitches take place, you will automatically ask the question, how did that happen? And in asking the question, well, how did that happen? Just you saying that automatically aligns you to seeing reality not just as practical, one step flows after another step, which is very logical based, but more of a vibrational match and instantaneous manifestation, bringing you immediately into higher frequencies of awareness and understanding. So this is why we have these synchronicities happen, because if we're allowed to express ourselves from our feminine side, our imaginative and intuitive side, then it's a frequency alignment. Frequency alignment doesn't need the story. It doesn't need the one step after another story. It just needs vibrational meet. And that's why you go, whoa, how did I come in front of a car that's got my freaking name on it? How did I was just thinking of this person, and now I see their name splashed on a billboard somewhere, or they just turn around the corner and I haven't seen them for 10 years, something like that. Things that are synchronicities that are actually awakening or making you more aware of understanding the vibrational meat that you have, not just a story that you're lining yourself up to that actually progressively goes one step after another. You will no longer, in these higher dimensions, in these new frequencies, when we merge into the 50 and beyond, you will no longer play the old survival games of waiting till someone or something outside of you gives you what you need. Nor will you feel the need to work extra hard to feel you deserve, because even that is a setup for the logical mind to go, well, I need to work extra hard so that I feel that I deserve, which aligns me with the actual thing that I was trying to get in the first place. But you don't need to do all of that, because you realize you don't need the logical story for you to actually align. You just need to use your imagination in a beneficial way for yourself to align yourself with the feeling of what it would be like to have that scenario play out. It says, but you will step into a brand new reality where you can learn to utilize your feelings and thoughts to line up with your desired reality that your soul always wanted to experience here on earth. This will break you free from the traditional logical world only being in charge by planning all things, and instead open you up to a combination of both logic and magic, helping you create your next steps. So this is us aligning into, this is the merging of the 3D to 5D worlds. We're not leaving the physical world. We are expanding our world. So we've still got this physical, tangible world where we can do step by step if we want, if that's the story that you desire, if you feel really comfortable with that and you want to align it as that, that's fine. But there's going to be people out there that are also going to just all of a sudden really sink into what they really, truly deserve. And then it's like the outside world bends to them, like the spoon bends in the matrix to their desires. Your outside world creates the reality or the story that maybe your logical mind will have a bit of a brain fart. How did that even happen? How did I reach this point? It's kind of like me recently. I've been in my car and I've been like, I feel a new car. I feel a new car. I would like a new car. That would be fun to have a new car. And I, my car's like 2011 or something like that. And then I have this freaking person crash into the back of me, and boom, now I'm sitting in a 2023 car. Like, I've got a beautiful car that I'm working with, and I'm like, now, chicken or the egg, but it's like a sink. It's not even the chicken or the egg anymore. It's a syncing up. It's a realizing. I decided, yes, I would like a new car. I wish I didn't have a car crash, but I wasn't injured. I didn't even have any problems afterwards or anything, but my car has to be fixed. So they gave me this hire car. Now I'm sitting here going, hey, can I take this further? How can I take this further where I actually sync it up so that it's, I have a new car that I own for the rest of my life, or I have a home for the rest of my life. I'm working with this. I'm learning to work with this, and this is us learning to work in these higher dimensions as we go along. So I just so yeah, the survival game will be out of the window, because that was a program pulled over our logical mind that was only in charge and listening out to people outside of ourselves to say you have to work really, really, really hard to be able to understand this, to be able to bring in the all of the gifts that you really want, to be able to save the money, to be able to have the money, to have the finances and the abundance that you're really looking for. No, it's not like that in these higher frequencies. And that's why money doesn't exist in most places, because we're so out of balance that we seeked our abundance in the form of a paper bag outside of us. It was gold to begin with because of our history, needing to mine gold for the Anunnaki and so forth. It was a whole other story there. And if you go on my Codes to a New Reality YouTube, you'll see that story. Just look up the gold one. Okay. So this is all channel messages from the Pleiadians at the moment. They're really helping us be able to navigate these new energies that are coming towards us and shift into these higher vibrations. So we also have, the more in sync you are with your desires, the more they will show up, that your desires will show up, and therefore learning to be happy within yourself is paramount to step into these higher frequencies, to know you always had the power within you to shift your life story, and to also be able to shift your mind out of a depression as quickly as you possibly can, or move through that depression to really be able to face it and say, you know what, I need to face this so it doesn't keep popping up anymore. Or I face this depression part, the sadness with this victimization within me. I've already faced that before. I know what that's about, but now I'm going to shift my mind quickly into better vibration, that's in sync with what I really want in my life. The quicker that you can do that, then the quicker that you start to let go of the victimization taking hold of you, the depression or anything like that taking hold of you. But I do want you to, if you feel like there's something there that hasn't been cleared, it is important to go into that and go as deep as you possibly can, because that's where you find the gems to uncover why you were feeling that way. What did you not give yourself? What did you not return to yourself? What were you looking outside of yourself to give you something that you hadn't given yourself? Because remember, the outside world will never match a frequency that you haven't matched within yourself anyway. So it'll always show up as that nemesis, or that person that pulls you into a victimized story again. Yeah, so to know you always had the power within you to shift your life story, first by imagining a new one, and then by holding that story, which will sync your vibration up with it so that you always know the appropriate actions to take, and you just literally will naturally take the appropriate actions, and to trust this as well, to take towards this new story without thinking too much about the what ifs. So yeah, when you get to those higher frequencies, you start to move into that. You start to move into the, I'm now using my imagination, not my logical mind and the doubts and the worries and all that, because it all happened in the past. Now I'm using my imagination to carve a new path, a new story. And I'm just going to hold it there and ask my logical mind to hold it there for as much as possible. It's like the masculine holding space for the feminine. And then when it holds space for that feminine, it's like now together we start to take action towards that story naturally. We don't even think about it. It's just a natural progression. Like they're bringing me to when someone was playing a game with me of catching a balled up sock, and I walked like quite a distance away from this person, and I knew they were going to throw it at the back of me. I didn't even look. I just had it in my vortex, and I held it in my vortex that it would not hit me. I would catch it, and I did not even look. I can I just put my hand up and I caught it. I didn't even know that he had thrown it. Like they're bringing me to Once Were Warriors, and he did the same thing with this man that was he was training with the spiritual stuff. The master was training, and he was working in his car as a mechanic, and then he just turned around. The guy that he was training got really angry with him and threw a tool at him, and he just automatically caught it without even looking. This is what we do when we are in sync or in alignment with ourselves in these higher frequencies. So we don't have to worry. The worry is the thing that keeps us in the story of, I'll never catch it. And so you will never catch it, because that's what you're sending out to your reality. You're in just that 3D, very unbalanced state of awareness. You're not in your authentic human self. The authentic human self is in these other dimensions, is in these other frequencies. It's an alignment of self to know that you have the reins by the energy that you carry to where you're going to go next. You will, and I'm learning this myself. I'm playing with this. You just play around with it as you go along. It's a learning game as we go along. You will need to learn to trust your choices and how you align, and how you allow into, and who, oh my gosh, I'm not reading now. When I channel, it's really hard for me to go back to reading. To trust your choices and who you allow into your reality by feeling into whether they line up with you feeling great rather than fearing other people and that sort of stuff. So you'll start to trust your choices, and you won't need an actual story. You won't need something like, oh, they did that wrong, so now I've got a story in my logical brain that I will say goodbye to them. And so you kind of create a disharmony and a problem for you to say, oh, they did that wrong. Instead, it's more of I trust my intuition already. I already feel that this is not going to go right because this person's not in alignment with me. There's a frequency adjustment that needs to be made before they come into my reality. And I'm going to protect my reality because of all the hard work I did, the shadow work I did in facing myself. And so I'm not allowing them into my reality until they've adjusted theirs. And so you then allow your door open to be in sync with others walking in that are really good for you. Also, I'm just wondering where I'm at. Sorry, it's like reading and then channeling, and it's a little confusing. I hope you're keeping up with this. Also, to never trust another telling you what to do over your own feelings will shift humanity into these higher frequencies as we take responsibility to the life we are creating. Never again returning to blaming another for your own alignment with them. And that's so valuable for this next frequency that we're moving up to. So things like insurance and all that sort of stuff, that's all an outer thing. Oh, we've got to protect our assets with insurance. It's all going to peter out, because it's going to be more of a, am I in alignment? Am I not? I mean, yeah, honestly, I don't have insurance. But I still got a new car to drive around in. Anyway, I haven't had insurance for a long time. I always felt like whenever I did that sort of thing, it literally brought the story in that I needed to use it. Am I using the money? Yeah, and it ended up just mucking everything up. So I stopped. Okay, so thanks, Jeannie. I just quickly glanced up and saw, in the meantime, your channeling and guidance here now has been incredibly important to me and for my evolution, connection within the collective of individuals hold and nurture for us as a group. I love that, Jeannie. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah, it's a together thing. And I mean, if my soul was to do its work, it's be like everyone that I touch with these messages goes out and becomes their authentic, true self. And oh my God, my soul will just be like, yes, that's what I came here to do, and like spread this authentic love everywhere. No more fearing who we truly are at that core magnificence. How cool would that be? Anyway, you will receive way more aha moments, as that's when your logical mind finally gets what your soul's been trying to tell it. So the aha moments literally come when your soul is like, come on, align with this frequency, and your logical mind's like, I'm afraid of that story developing into that story that happened in the past, and it's like, it's fighting against the soul's connection to try to say, align with this. All you have to do is let it go, let the story go, and align with what you're really seeking, and then all of a sudden you'll get these, oh my God, I get it. Someone's been telling me that for years. And now, oh my God, I get it. That in itself, that aha moment is what's happened is, yeah, someone can tell you till you're blue in the face, but if your logical mind doesn't get it, you're just going to go, oh, yeah, I get where you're coming from. Yeah. And I do believe you, and, I'm working towards it. But until you really feel it, then your logical mind accepts it. Then it's like, oh, now we get it on a whole other level. Now I'm in the feelings. Now I trust this whole, whatever this message was, and so forth. Sorry, my phone keeps cutting out, and then I have to realign it again. That's so funny. And I have to realign it again. I'm just making sure that I don't repeat something that I've already... Yeah, more moments. That's right. So, yeah, you will receive more aha moments, as that's when your logical mind finally gets what your soul's been trying to tell it, receiving understandings beyond the fears and the doubts, moments of absolute truth for the vibration you've been trying to resonate with. Just hearing something isn't enough. It's when you feel it and accept that feeling that you get what we call an aha moment. I love that. Yeah, so my team's really piling this in on us to make us understand this whole new perception or perspective of reality, that we don't have to live it in the old ways anymore. They also said you will stop looking outside yourself to be accepted, and that's when you finally start looking deeply enough at yourself to choose what you love about you, not what how you fit into society. leading you to fully step into your authenticity. So yeah, that's, I mean, that's been coming up throughout these whole messages, but to really get that, you can't go deep within yourself when you're constantly pointing your finger at somebody else. You know, it was their fault. Oh, they shouldn't have done that. Well, you aligned with it. So if you're aligned with them, then there's something there that you have to turn it around and go, why? Why would I align with that? What was I learning there? Was I learning to step into my power more and say my truth of who I truly am and say, no, I'm not going to accept this? What was it that I really needed to align with? And then they said, you will get to the point where you can't do wrong, because you have got to a point where you trust your choices fully, and then you start to gather. So I'm just going to go on that. Now, you get to the point where you know where you can't go wrong, is because how can you go wrong if you're aligning with somebody and you're learning a valuable lesson from them for yourself? That can't be wrong. Even if it's disharmony and it's horrible and it's, even if it's the government pulling crap over you or whatever, you're still in alignment with it. You're still believing that they're more powerful than you. You're still believing that you can't shift the story within your imagination to something new and juicy and something better. You're still believing something different, something outside of you that is different to what your soul's trying to resonate with. So you can't go wrong when you're in the understanding of yourself as an alignment person, a frequency person, rather than a person who looks outside themselves for all the validations they need for them to be a powerful person. So because of that, you'll start to gather in communities with others who trust themselves as well. That's going to make a big difference, right? Because now we've got outside support matching our inner support. This unity starts to happen because you realize what you do to others, you do to yourself, due to being able to feel more. So when you're in the feelings more, in these higher frequencies, remember I said you're in your feelings more, then all of a sudden you're going to feel what other people are feeling. And so whatever you're doing to them, if it's, gee, I try to control that person because I don't like where they're coming from, well, then you're not in your feelings more. In higher frequencies, you're in your feelings more. So you automatically, when they walk through the door, you'll go, oh, I know where they're coming from. And of course, I'm not going to poke that bear. I'm not going to make that worse because of my own insecurities. So you're lining up now with with the way that people work in a flow, a different flow. You will find a new flow of existence that matches everyone's choices, because you are making those choices from a place of feeling into all as you, or as oneness, which means you all move as one together and for a common cause without having to even speak. And this is when telepathy comes back. So this is how we get this telepathy coming back into these, when we're stepping into these higher frequencies. It's coming through acknowledging your feelings again, or telepathy or existence where words are no longer needed as much. I mean, you might want to use your words, but even to speak, it's really hard. Like, I speak quite fast when I'm channeling because I'm trying to get all this information through to you guys. It's like a feeling can come to me like that, like so quick. And then I have to now change that feeling into an actual something for you guys to understand through just words. And words are so limiting compared to that feeling that I had from my guides or my team. It's just like, whoa, okay. And I'm trying to catch up with the words. So sometimes I won't even say the right language, like English is all distorted, and I end up making up words even. I'm trying to express what I'm actually feeling. It's so funny. This is why those who are empathic are naturally compassionate, as the true essence of the word human was given, because we are authentically humane. And when we're authentically in our power and feeling more, we have acknowledged our emotions as something that's helping us feel more. Then we become humane, because we will see something outside of us going through hardship or something. We just naturally, our hearts just want to help. And of course, if we can help, we will do the actions to help. Because if we're helping somebody outside of us, we're actually raising the vibration of humanity into a more loving state of awareness. We're no longer having these fear-based people. They're bringing me to even people that are imprisoned and that sort of thing. And we throw them, we throw them in this locked out tiny little cell, and then they end up having anxiety because they don't feel the freedom anymore. And their whole game was to find freedom, but they were finding it in a way of trying to control everything outside themselves. So they became a problem because they went too far to what society was convincing them of. Society, the way that the programs pulled over humanity, drove them into that problem because of the way that they guided us, the leaders guided us, and they weren't in their own balanced mind. They weren't in their own balance within themselves. And so they guided humanity into going so far outside of themselves to try to control everything that problems really started to happen. And they never took it. Really, we need to switch these people up to getting back into their feelings and in touch with themselves and that core essence again, for them to really shift and change. Then they said in these 5D and more, they went a little bit further. They said eventually your hearing will become more acute, just as your sight will see into other frequencies, because you can connect to these new dimensions through your now heightened ability to feel. You will also hear literal choirs singing when you step into nature. I love that. Something that you will attune to more, to the mysteries of the elemental world and Mother Earth herself. You will start to feel and hear these things. They're bringing me to when I was in Uluru and I put my hands on the rock in Uluru. And if you want to see that story, hear that story, go to Breaking into the Silence, or Breaking Through the Silence. I think it's Breaking Through the Silence. YouTube with Steve Neal with 2 L's. I did an interview. Just look that up. Breaking Through the Silence, or Breaking in the Silence, or something like that. Sorry, I will show. Or Breaking the Silence. That's what it was. Type that in, and then with my name. And I just last week was published this interview with Steve, and it went through that story. So I could literally feel the heartbeat of Mother Earth, because I'm very highly empathic anyway. And when I went into the zone, I put my forehead on the forehead, it cleared me so much. I just had this clarity that happened. The clarity that happened literally synced me up with the Earth's vibration, and I could feel it, and it felt so woo, woo, like this, woo, but very slow, like a woo. I can't. Anyway, we will sense more because of these feelings that we're getting in tune with. So yeah, you're doing the shadow work, and you're constantly doing, and you're like, why is this constantly happening to me? Because you're being asked to feel more. Why? Because that means you are going into higher vibrations, and you are learning to control yourself through these feelings. Because when a feeling comes over you and you don't know how to handle it, you're going to have to sit with it for a while. It could be a month or a few weeks or whatever, even a few hours, whatever, how mature your soul is with that feeling. So you sit in it for that time, working through, peeling back the layers of, why am I not allowing myself to feel this feeling? Because at the other end of the feeling of fear or anguish, or feeling small about yourself, victimization, the other feeling of that is just profoundness and beauty, and oh my God, I get how powerful I am, the magnificence of myself, and how I can connect with so much more now. So this is where we're actually going. As these two, it's really, to me, it's not even the 3D and 5D. The 3D and 5D and the 6D, 7D, whatever you want to call it, these other dimensions, they always existed. It's just that humanity was so out of balance with themselves and not acknowledging their feelings at all that they repressed them, and then that ended up closing the door to a lot of communication that we could have had with understanding things that were alive outside of us as source energy going on a different journey. And that's what humans were here to do in the first place. We were literal caretakers of the animal world and the plant life. So we had to be more feeling based to be able to be the caretakers of that, which we need to be in tuned with to be able to understand more. And so we won't be doing the science experiments on animals or anything like that. We just need to tap in, tune in. Now I get why that animal is doing what that animal is doing. I understand that completely. We don't need to, do a science experiment on the animal, anymore. So all of that will, and also they're telling me, just in the way of how we consume life, and it will become much more flowing, because we are always consuming life, and then even if we're breathing in energy, it's still consuming. And if it's in a material form and we're like eating, it's consuming, right? So we'll have a natural way of understanding that the animal wanted to be consumed by a human, so that its beautiful soul has a doorway here into the next life of even becoming a human if it wanted to. So, there's like a different way of perceiving life and death. And that happens because you're starting to feel more. But, I can tell you this till you're blue in the face, like I said before, but it's not until you get that aha moment, that click with your logical mind. Oh my God, I feel it. I totally understand it now. I get what Bobby's been trying to say, what my guides have been trying to tell you. That's why it's really, really important for you to do this shadow work, holding you in a limitation of not acknowledging your emotions, then you're not acknowledging your feelings. Yeah, you'll be able to read people will become channelers, they'll be telepathic. Life will completely shift out. We won't be trusting those that are in charge that are just coming from an imbalanced place, because they will look like fools to us. And why would we trust a fool over our own soul? It just won't work. So this is the shattering of the illusion that humanity, the program being shattered by us doing this work. And you can only do the work for you. Your reality is as an extension of yourself. You don't realize how much your extension goes, how it actually flows into everything, because at the central core, there's only you and your perception of life. That you can't perceive, you can feel into another person, but then when you're at that core essence of feeling into another person, you're matching them at source energy. You realize yourself as one. So you're seeing them, you're feeling into them as part of your story as well. And so the separation of us having these individual bodies sort of falls away, although it's still held within the logical mind, because we want to have the story of connection and physical story as well. So we're kind of embracing both sides of the story now. We're learning to embrace that etherics, that energy alignment, and also the logical stability of the physical world, having a playground to actually play in. So that's happening as well. Yeah, it's huge. It's a huge shift, and it's beautiful, and it's divinely right. Everything's happening, and you might feel like, oh my God, it's never going to break through, but it's because you haven't. When you break through, the world breaks through for you. So it's actually you that needs to break through for everything to shift into alignment of seeing the world start to shift up and awaken. Wow. Yeah. And you don't realize it actually starts with you. So when you shift into that frequency of acknowledging all of who you are, every aspect of yourself, and loving every part of who you are, And then the world starts to show up for you, which just literally shifts the world. Yeah, it's like they're saying one person shifts everything. But then it's like one person is everything, and then everything is one person. So it's kind of, yeah, it's a daunting thing for the logical mind to have a concept of, because it was meant to not understand that completely. Otherwise we couldn't have this separated story. So then we have to embrace that. We have to embrace the fact that our logical mind's not going to completely, not 100% understand what our feminine intuitive side gets. But it can share it, and it will have these moments when we meet at love. They said there's a frequency of feeling so beautiful with each other, and the love that we have for each other, the acceptance of everything, that it meets at love, and then the feeling is exchanged, and so the logical mind will get it in a way that it needs to get it. But we don't want to get it to a point where the logical mind feels like it's no use, because then we are stepping out of this practical playing ground. We're stepping out of the physical world. We're stepping only into an etheric world. And we don't want to do that, because we want to grow. We've just learned so much about the physical world. That's what humanity wanted to go through. By shutting down the feminine side, we got to embrace so much more of our masculine world and understand it with so much better understanding, how far we could push it to before it starts to become inverted and consume ourselves too. How far that can go before it consumes ourselves, or how far that goes before you're pulled so far away from source energy, love of self, that we end up inverting ourselves and wanting to ping back to love. And so we kill ourselves off, and then we go back to that. That's so interesting. Yeah. It's huge. So yeah, I'm really excited that I can actually give you guys these messages that are coming through. Can you find the link? Bobby posted area. Yeah, I will. I'll find the link. I actually posted it on. I've posted it on my the breaking in silence, or breaking the silence. YouTube. I posted it on my YouTube under just a posting. So you might want to go there. But yeah, I'll post it again here. Anyways, it was a really cool interview. I felt like there was definitely a masculine presence with me, and Steve picked up on it. He's like, "Oh my God, I hear two voices." I hear your voice and someone else's voice. I couldn't quite hear it, but I felt very, I don't know, I felt different through that interview. I felt different. It was like I needed something masculine to be able to tell the whole full stories of what was happening. Okay, guys, is there anything else that wants to come through? There's so much juicy stuff right there. You might have to rewatch this one, because there is a lot of juicy stuff right there. Yeah, I think that I will leave it here, and I will be live again tomorrow morning. I will do some tarot and some pre-chat bar readings for those in the chat bar, because I love giving chat bar readings. Yeah, so if you want to connect with me tomorrow, we will do another reading in the morning, or tomorrow night for you if you're in New York area. And yeah, I'm just going to go with the flow, see what happens. Please take a look at the Snow White one, the Hidden Coast of Snow White. You'll learn a lot from that too. And it's only like, I think 7 minutes long or something, so it won't take too much of your time. Love you guys heaps. If you want a one-on-one reading, the link is down below. And until next time, bye.